I'm not paid to be a role model. I am paid to wreak havoc on the basketball court.
Here's the pass to Leitner. Puts it up. Yes! Is it the shoe?
I was going to rip his heart out. I'm the best ever. I'm the most brutal and vicious and most ruthless champion there's ever been.
One of the world's most talented athletes is retiring. It is true what somebody said today. There was Babe Ruth and Muhammad Ali and Michael Jordan and Wayne Gretzky.
Gretzky in front. Saved by Flaherty. The rebound. Score!
Favre just threw it perfectly right over him to Corey Bradford. Only Brett Favre could do that. I don't care what you say.
This is WHPC Sports Talk on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC.
Game on! Game on!
4 o'clock on a Tuesday. We'll call it the second best edition of WHPC Sports Talk because we all know that Thursday is the best, of course.
I mean,
so true.
It's just inarguable.
Not unarguable. The greatest thing known to man, of course.
Yes.
Welcome to WHPC Sports Talk on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. I'm your host for this Tuesday afternoon, Braden Danielo. Got a lot to get into. NBA. Got some big things going on locally. Knicks and Nets play tonight. The MLB, the latest on free agency. And the got some awards to do. Well, not awards, but some awards to go over. And we'll finish it off, hopefully, with the NFL. Give our previews for this coming week. And last night's weird game. Weird ending. But before we get into all that, I'm joined by Eric Williams. How you doing today?
I'm tired, but I'm okay. I'm feeling better than I was yesterday. Y'all shouldn't.
I can imagine why.
No, are you turning down my mic? Oh, I thought
No.
No, it's not that type of day today. The Eagles finally lost, so I'm feeling better.
Yeah.
I'm also trying to cook up a parlay right now. So.
Nico Each, how are you?
Braden, I had an amazing Sunday.
You did? What happened? Well,
the Packers.
I know the Packers all of a sudden are back to being an NFL.
No. They were back for one game.
No,
maybe it will last. It probably won't. But they did cut Amari Rodgers. Very happy about that.
They're reeling you back in. It's happening.
It was the Amari Rodgers move, to be quite honest with you.
That's what I'm saying.
Just heard him on the mic. Josh Mahi, how are you?
I am good. I'm hyped up about these basketball games I got to call over at the P building today. But I see you wrote on the topic sheet. We got to start with the some bad basketball. The Lions been playing some great basketball. Got to start with some bad basketball in New York.
Do you think the Lions could beat the Knicks right about now?
Well, you know. No, the Lions. Well, actually, the Lions do have. Actually, yeah. Actually, yes. Yes.
516-572-7440 is the number to call if you want to call and give us your opinion, whatever we're talking about. Let's start with the NBA. So on Sunday, I'm sure Josh was watching. Knicks dropped a tight game to OKC by final score 145-135. Cam Reddish, who me and Josh, well, more Josh, tore into, I believe it was last Thursday. Actually had a pretty good game. Him, Julius Randle, Emmanuel Quickley all had 20-plus points. Ultimately not good enough to propel the Knicks back over 500 to sitting at 6-7, right, Josh? I believe that sounds right?
Yes.
Yep.
So the Knicks start a long, and Josh, you alluded to it this past weekend on the halftime show. Good job by the LA with calling that game with Antonio. Anyway, tonight the Knicks start a long 5-game road trip out west against the 10-5 Utah Jazz. It's actually impressive considering all the pieces they lost. Josh, we can discuss this road trip later on this week, particularly Thursday, maybe even tomorrow. But for today, what do you expect to see tonight against Utah? Who do you expect to step up?
Well, so if you follow the trends, right? The Utah Jazz have a winning record. I know they don't have Donovan Mitchell or Rudy Gobert or Bojan Bogdanovic anymore, but they're still winning. They have Lauri Markkanen and Colin Sexton and Rudy Gay. Yes, he's still there. But listen.
No Kuminga.
But it's the start of, like you said, a long road trip. And leading up to this game, we'll see, because I just found out today that the Knicks called a players-only meeting. And usually that's a sign of the coach being in trouble. Now, I've been screaming for the last year
God
and a
knows
half.
how long for Thibodeau to be gone.
Thibs got to go. He's not the coach for this team. It was a mistake to hire him in the first place. You hired a win-now coach for a rebuilding roster. And again, that damn 2020-21 season, not the bubble year, but the empty stadium year where Julius Randle turned into left-handed Rudy Gay. Not Rudy Gay, Tracy McGrady, that's what I meant to say. I'm thinking of Rudy Gay too much. Excuse me. I got Rudy Gay on the mind. But yeah, that season really set the Knicks back if you look at it in hindsight. Because Julius Randle is not that guy when there's fans in the stands. Tom Thibodeau is, what do I call him, an angry, hairy toenail?
A bitch.
Yeah, that works too, Nico.
That's about right.
That works too. He's just not the coach. He's still stuck in 2002. This is 2022. You got to defend the three-point line better than what you're doing. And, yeah, I brought up the players-only meeting. It was actually called by Julius Randle.
Oh, boy.
Y'all know that meme where it's SpongeBob, the old SpongeBob episode where it's the wanted maniac, and SpongeBob's looking around like, we gotta catch this guy, we gotta catch this maniac, and the mugshot's right behind him, and it's him. That's Julius Randle calling this players only meeting. Like, what are you doing? We can see you on the tape. You show no effort on defense. You're lazy. You're hop, skipping, jumping when Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is wide open at the 3-point line over and over and over. Like, who are you trying to fool thinking you're the leader of the team?
Well,
who are you fooling?
Thibodeau seems to love him. I mean, like a little bit too much because he's consistently. It's either he consistently plays him, but then say like an Obi Toppin, who's very good, by the way. I didn't need to tell Josh.
Randle.
Well, that's not. Well, I shouldn't say that's not difficult, but Obi Toppin and RJ Barrett say like the same mistake Randle does. I don't think they get as much criticism or punishment from good old Thibs. Would you say that's about right, Josh?
The funniest thing about Thibs, too,
I'm just fueling the fire right now. I'm just giving Josh more reasons to be angry.
The funniest thing about Thibs is that he says that minutes are earned on his team. They're earned? Really? Like, does this guy think we don't watch the games? Like, Knicks fans don't watch the games? We're just blind? Because we see that Julius Randle is the laziest defender in the NBA this year. You can look at by its stats. You can look by the tape. It shows. Obi Toppin, when he's on the court, he's a burst of energy every time. He runs the floor. He gets dunks, easy layups. He's even blocking shots now. He's a much better defender now. So if minutes are really earned on this Knicks roster, explain the Obi Toppin, Julius Randle thing. Can you? It makes no sense, but it only makes sense in Thibs' head. And who knows what goes on in that man's head? It's not good basketball acumen. It's just not. We can see it.
He's thinking about like vanilla pudding because that's what he looks like.
He's not
but like old, expired,
just got hairs on it.
Expired vanilla pudding.
Yeah, that's Tom Thibodeau. So we got a 5-game road trip, and let me read off the teams.
I was just about to do that, actually.
Hold on, let me see if you have it or I have it.
I got it up now. You got Utah obviously tonight. Not probably not the best. We've seen like doubleheaders in hockey. They don't work out well. Probably not the best playing a back-to-back night against Utah and then the Denver Nuggets, which you got tomorrow night. Get an off night Thursday. Friday, you're in Golden State. This coming Sunday, you're in Phoenix to play Eric's Suns. And next Monday, you have you're in OKC.
Ding, ding. There it is. So, that's the game. That's the game Thibs is going to get his ass canned because the Knicks are going to go 0-5 on this road trip. And the final straw is going to be Shai Gilgeous-Alexander dropping 50 in OKC on that Monday. That's going to be the final straw. They're going to have no choice.
This is how I would get with the Mets. And the funniest thing, and I don't mean to bash you, Josh, but the funniest thing about it, I would bash the Mets, and they looked, particularly in September, and I rightfully should have. I bashed the Mets, and Josh was always like, Braden, you have to be positive. Like, it was Mr. Posman. So, Josh.
Listen, I learned from my mistakes. I learned from my mistakes. You can't tell me, like, the Mets show me who they are. Sometimes these teams just show their ass.
Well, I knew who they were. I knew it. I called them out. I called it months in advance. Well, Ross calls it every show.
Yeah, y'all did. And I was trying to get y'all from jumping off the Shea Bridge. And
well, if the Mets actually performed, I would get. Listen, I give the Mets credit. We'll get into baseball later, but I gave the Mets credit when they did good. And with Ross, not to offend Ross, nothing is like too good for Ross. And I don't blame. Like you're told to me, never be satisfied as a fan unless you win a championship. That's fine. I'm all on board with that. But no, I give the Mets credit. So if the Mets made like a decent postseason run and actually perform, maybe they weren't going to win the World Series. But if they did win a World Series, I'd be thrilled. I wouldn't want to be coming here next season on opening day talking about jumping off Shea Bridge. But because they were so underwhelming, that's the reason. But like I said, that was down the stretch. So I don't even want to ask you with what you think the future. Like if you were to give me like the rest of this month how it plays out for the Knicks, what would? Because I need to look at their schedule the rest of this month.
No, I can tell you right now, it's It's all going to come down to, does Leon Rose, is he finally going to grow a spine in the back of his, whatever's back there? It's not a spine, because clearly Tom Thibodeau is running this team. He's just, nobody holds that guy accountable. It's always, I'll give Julius Randle 40 minutes a game to not play defense and brick wide open 12-footers. I'll let R.J. Barrett just be mid all game, no dog whatsoever. I'll let Jalen Brunson, who's a good point guard, but put him in more control of the offense. Like, he's the point guard. Why is Julius Randle bringing the ball up, ignoring Cam Reddish on wide open fast breaks? This team should be run and gun, but Julius Randle, this guy just slows everything down. And is Leon Rose finally going to hold this guy accountable? Because we know with Tom Thibodeau what the story's going to be. They're going to give up wide open 3 after 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 3. If you're
it's a lot of threes, Josh.
It's a lot of threes.
That's a lot of threes.
If you got shooters on your team and you can lock and load, you're going to not just beat the Knicks, you're going to wash the Knicks. You are. It shows, clearly.
Erik,
I think Erik just farted.
You're sitting over there with that grin on your face, but I think you wanted to say something regarding what Josh...
I mean, you go on a 5-game road trip, and this is a tough road trip in the West Coast. This ain't looking good, and I think this is going to put the Knicks in the Wembayama sweepstakes.
Well, no. Let's not talk about Wembayama.
No, he's not wrong.
No. But here's the thing, and you don't have to watch the Knicks to know this. They get screwed out of the lottery all the time, okay? Whether it's Zion, every draft. You can name a draft that you need more than 2 hands to count it, Nico. Let's be real. It's more than just Zion. This team is going to... It's like Josh said. They're going to get the worst record in the league, and they'll probably still end up with the 11th pick. I don't think that's possible, but it probably, just because Knicks, it would happen.
Ever since David Stern rigged the lottery for the Knicks to get Patrick Ewing, they just had bad luck ever since then. And that was a long time ago. That was in the 80s. Look, they gotta start, like, we're not going to win these games. They're not going to win these games. They probably know it. We know it. The fans know it. Thibs knows it. Thibs knows his job. It's like it's right there.
It's dangling by a thread.
Yeah, so.
And you look at this road trip as the basketball casual. You have 3 of the better teams in the West right now. You got Utah, Denver, Phoenix, the defending champs in Golden State, and you have Oklahoma City. You just gave up 145 to. So, Josh, when you say realistically this could be 0-5, I don't blame you. I could see that, but it's just like. And it's not going to get any easier after that. Yeah, I mean, Portland, Memphis, Detroit. I'm not even going to say. No, I'm not going to say it, because then they're going to lose. You're going to play back this tape, and I'm going to look like a jackass. And then you finish out the month with Milwaukee. So it's not getting any easier. So Josh, you at the beginning of the season, before we move on to the Nets, because I want to get to them, and then I want to get to baseball. You said play-in maybe. What's your mindset?
Well,
I'm just crushing his soul as I ask.
Once they go 0-5 on this road trip, right, and they lose even more, when they come back home and Thibs gets fired, and you bring in Johnny Bryant, maybe Quinn Snyder, maybe Ime Udoka, shout out Nigeria, like that's honestly who I want to see. But like, when Thibs is gone, watch how much better this team plays.
Just happier. They'll just look happier.
There's going to be so much more joy. There's no like. They know, the young players especially, they know they can make a mistake, and this gremlin over there on the sideline is not going to yell at them quickly, like that OB, like you hear his voice through the TV, like shut up, like you're not holding anybody accountable. You've lost this locker room, and you know why he's lost the locker room? Because they don't play defense. NFL, NBA, what's the number one sign that you've lost a team? They just stop playing defense.
Yeah,
you see it time and time again. Thibs has clearly lost his locker room, and once the Knicks bring their next coach in, watch how much better this team plays. They'll play even better once they trade Julius Randle to who knows where. Maybe Phoenix, Erik.
Oh boy.
Nah, I don't think I want him anymore. He can't play no defense.
Wherever he goes, and we're probably going to have to attach positive assets to get rid of him, because and he's putting up good stats too. If you read the stats, he's like all NBA again. But if you watch the games. It's horrible.
More draft picks for the Knicks to hoard, right?
11 tradable first-round picks. That's what Leon Rose said after he swung out.
But Josh, R.J. Barrett, he is the answer. He's better than Donovan Mitchell.
Josh, would you start Emmanuel Quickly over R.J. Barrett right now?
So I need to ask this. I need to ask this. I need to ask this, and I don't want to call anyone out, but I am. I need to ask this before we get to the Nets. What is a worse take? You'd rather have RJ over Donovan, or Sauce right now is better than Deion Sanders?
They're both on the same level.
But those are really bad takes.
I don't know. That honestly might.
It might be the Sauce.
I don't know because I mean.
Because Sauce, I could see the potential, but to call him 9 games, 10 games into his career.
Hold. The person, remember, we're a college radio station, so the kid who said that was obviously pretty young. He might not have watched Deion Sanders, so I kind of get it. Yo, RJ is right in front of us, and Josh, Donovan Mitchell averaging 30 points per game is right in front of us.
But Josh, the correlation of, I don't have to watch, like, me and Nico didn't see Wayne Gretzky play, but we know he's the greatest of all time.
Couldn't lift the puck, Braden, to be quite honest.
Nico, let's not get
couldn't
into
lift the puck.
Let's not get into this.
In an era where you didn't have to lift the puck.
He still is.
Wow.
Okay, so who's better than Gretzky?
Me. Put the C on my chest.
God, I could see you walking out of this room right now. How about that?
Okay.
All right. Just want to remind everyone you're listening to WHPC Sports Talk on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. Phone number 516-572-7440. Let's get to the Nets. So tonight, the Brooklyn Nets face off against the Sacramento Kings in Sacramento. Nets, they started rough. We all know that, between the whole off-court antics of Kyrie Irving, which we'll get into in just a moment. They're coming off. They like I said, they look better. And then this is gives me Jets vibes. Honestly, no, it just gives me New York sports vibes. You look good for a stretch of games, and then you lose a game to one of the worst teams in the NBA. In the LA Lakers, 116-103. And I know it's early in the season, but the standings, that's just what it says. I think the Lakers are 3-11, right, Eric? Something like that.
3-10.
They're bad.
Yeah. So my point still stands. Kevin Durant's looked great so far, averaging 30.6 points, 6.6 rebounds, 5.3 assists. Despite all this, however, no one else has really been standing out for the Nets, and that's, I think, in a big part due to Kyrie Irving's suspension, which, do we have word on that? Do we know how many games it's going to be at? Yeah, I assume so. So, this being said, Eric, who needs to step up in Kyrie's absence to help KD, in your opinion?
I mean...
there's not many people there.
Seth Curry?
No, like, you can't even look at them because they're not getting paid plus $100 million. Ben Simmons is.
Well, Ben Simmons isn't going to help out this roster at this point.
But he needs to. I mean,
he needs to, but we don't expect it from him, do we?
I mean,
he's getting.
Who else on the team do you expect it from?
Well, he's getting paid like you would expect it out of him, but he's really not going to. It's like that meme where it's like my man hasn't moved for 30 minutes. That's Ben Simmons on the court.
He's not playing aggressive at all. You're 6'9", bro.
By the way, he might not play tonight because of his knee.
Oh,
his knee. Oh, my knee. My knee.
This is Kratzov vibes, Nico.
He got a boo-boo on his knee. He can't play. The man is averaging 5 points on 44% shooting. I mean, you take that with you take that with a grain of salt. I mean, but he's also averaging 6 rebounds, 6 assists. It's not too bad, but he can do better.
So all right. So
can he? Can he actually do better?
Look at his numbers in Philly. You expect him to do better, but he hasn't played basketball in a year.
He's bad. He's garbage. He's Kenny Galladay.
ASMR each.
He is really Kenny Galladay.
Yeah. No, that's a good comparison.
So you look at the Nets schedule. I'm just going to read off the next 5 games like we did with the. It's not a road trip, but same thing we did with the Knicks. You got Sacramento tonight. You got Portland Thursday. This next Sunday you're hosting Memphis. Next Tuesday you're in Philly. Next Wednesday you're in Toronto. So, Eric, I got to ask you, what do you think they go in these stretch of 5 games? What do you think their record is after that?
What was the first 2 games?
You got Sacramento tonight, Portland, and then Memphis after that.
1-5. I mean 1-4. Sorry.
1-4. Who do you think they get the 1 win against?
Maybe the Kings, but they can even go 0-5 because the Kings are a tough young team.
Sabonis 30-20 tonight. Book it. 30-20.
60-40.
Oh my God.
Damn.
Shaq numbers. Wow.
Just
Whoop numbers.
I never thought this season that the football teams would be saving every other sport. Well, except maybe hockey.
Listen,
which is
the Jets are the best football team in the league right now. So,
okay, where's this correlation coming from? Did you just pull this one out of your ass too?
They're going to go 11-6 into the AFC Championship.
The index cards are still up there.
I never realized that. What do the index cards say?
Braden wasn't here for the best day in WHPC Sports Talk history.
And I've never thought to read it either. Does it have something to do with Deion Sanders?
No. Well, it has something to do with the person that said
11-6 Jets AFC Championship loss.
Of course.
Nasty.
But we do have a caller on the line. Caller, you're at WHPC Sports Talk. Who are you? Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Elmont. I could tell you why cards are there, because it's a prophecy that they're going to go 11-6. They're going to go to the AFC Championship, lose. It's just going to happen. So I'm just letting you guys know, well, you specifically know what's going to happen in the future.
So, Anthony, who are they going to lose to in the AFC Championship game, you think?
The Dolphins. It's going to be a Dolphins Eagles championship.
Hang up the phone.
Do you think the Eagles make the Super Bowl after last night?
Yeah,
it's not going to happen.
A trip up.
No.
It's a trip up.
It's a trip up?
No.
Listen, I will say the Commanders are good, but the Vikings are obviously the team out of the NFC.
Wait a minute.
No, Braden, you cannot tell me otherwise.
No. Hold on, Anthony, just a sec. So you guys every week, and I can't stand this.
Yes.
Okay, and to be fair,
I said.
I do this with the Rangers, but I'm not being completely serious when I say it. You say Minnesota is the most fraudulent team in the league 1 week. And I know they beat Buffalo, and I texted you guys after. So now, just because Philly lost one game, you're calling...
Listen,
what's the correlate?
Our thoughts on Philly have deteriorated as the year has gone on.
And Braden, somebody didn't listen yesterday. I've completely changed my mind on the Vikings.
I was in class.
Why would you be on class and not be listening to WHPC Sports Talk?
Yeah, no.
On the Voice of Nassau Community College.
I should just brought my AirPods and listen. I don't even do anything.
Yeah, Nico each was hosting yesterday.
I was on The Unfortunate Truth. Nico's World Episode 4. In case you missed it, it's on Spotify.
Apple Podcast.
That's true.
So does Mike, well, now my crazy prediction, it's going to still sound crazy because now you think the Eagles are frauds, but I'm going to ask you guys, do you think and Anthony, give me your opinion too since you're on the line. Does Eagles Vikings NFC Championship game sound?
Josh was talking about the Vikings when they beat the Bills. I think it is going to be a NFC Championship game between the Eagles and the Vikings.
Bold take. Wow. That's really a calm take from you.
Kirk Cousins,
2 8-1 teams to the NFC Championship.
Kirk Cousins doesn't perform in the playoffs. Let's just get that out the way. But I did have a take. It's not really a hot take, but I guess this is more the truth. And Giants fans don't know that they're not going to take this very lightly because the Commanders are a better team than the Giants.
More talent.
Way more
talent.
More talent.
If only they
look at their defensive line, look at their wide receiving core, and look at the two-headed monster they have in that backfield.
Look at Taylor Heineke.
Yo, Matt, give Brian Dable, Terry McLaurin, Curtis Samuel,
Taylor Heineke. I want to get
Gibson.
this late. I'll get to this later, but Taylor Heineke's energy last night might have been the
greatest.
He's
the answer in Washington.
It was Big D energy. He major Big D.
Hang up on him, man. Just let him go on.
We gotta let you go.
We gotta cut you off.
I don't know if we appreciate the call, but
Anthony,
it was cool that you called.
Anthony, I appreciate the call, but we gotta let you go, brother. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll see you guys Friday. See you.
Have a good one.
No.
Will there be a WHPC Sports?
Well, there's your breakdown of the NBA with some football mixed in there. So
FCC is just they're waiting. They're just listening and waiting.
Bitches ain't gonna do anything.
Let's transition to the MLB. So NL Rookie of the Year, AL Rookie of the Year. I don't know if you guys discussed it yesterday, but it was handed out yesterday. Michael Harris takes it home for the NL. Julio Rodriguez for the AL Rookie of the Year. And I got their stats here, but I got to ask while you look at these stats. Nico,
yes.
Who do you think had the better season, one? And who do you think will have the bigger impact on their team next season?
Rodriguez for both questions.
Rodriguez for both.
He is the answer in Seattle.
Great. It shows why they locked him up to, what was it, a 14-year, $420 million
He is Ken
contract.
Griffey Jr. Part 2.
Wow.
Oh, okay. 1,000%. Also, how did Michael Harris win Rookie of the Year?
Well, who would you give it to in the NL?
Who's the pitcher from Atlanta?
Strider.
That would have been my
don't
pick.
give it to Mustache Boy. You kidding me?
He deserved it way more than Michael Harris.
Well,
his pants be way too tight, yo.
What's the issue?
Excuse me.
What's the problem?
Okay. Well, whoever gets
What's
it,
the issue
Nico,
with tight pants, Judge? I'm a nice,
Nico,
fine man.
To everyone, oh my God, Nico, whoever gets it, to everyone in this room, we lose because we all hate the Braves. But it's like, I can understand why Harris got it. He batted .297, OPS .853.
The Braves media slurpage be crazy.
It is insane.
It's crazy. It's just
my God.
we saw we saw all season long from like Buster only. Oh, watch out! If Jacob deGrom is going to leave the Mets, he's going to go to the Braves. Well, that was shot down.
I wish he does. I dare him.
I dare him too.
He won't do anything.
I dare him
He's
too.
He's going to get injured. Maybe play like 10 games. That's it.
He's going to have Syndergaard syndrome when it comes to coming back to the city. He's a watch.
We have another caller on the line. Caller, you're on WHPC Sports Talk. What's your name? Where are you calling from?
What's up, guys? It's Frankie from Flushing.
Hi, Frankie. How you doing, my man?
Good, good. Listen, you were forgetting about that kid Pena. As much as I hate the Astros.
Jeremy Pena. He,
yeah.
I will say this, Frankie, since you brought up, he had a very good postseason. There are a lot of guys maybe ahead of him. I think Rodriguez definitely is in. Adley Rutschman was in there for Baltimore. But Jeremy Pena, what he did as a rookie this October, if this was based on regular and postseason performance, you have to put him in that conversation. He played phenomenal, and you pointed it out.
You know what? I stand corrected. I'm an old guy. I keep thinking National League Houston. I had a brain cramp right there.
I didn't even notice that. I was waiting for a second. I was like, Pena did good, but I don't know if he was a Julio Rodriguez.
No, you're right. You're right. I mean, in the American League, the kid from Seattle, he's just far and above better than everybody. And I was thinking Houston was in the National League. I had a brain cramp there for a minute. But that kid, he's going to be a good ball player anyway. That kid from Houston.
Yeah.
I mean, they replaced Carrera there, and I thought it was a mistake letting him go. But this kid stepped right in, and he's going to be an amazing player for them.
Yeah, and you just brought it up. Josh, give me a take on Houston's ability to just replace people in the blink of an eye, and they instantly become superstars. It's phenomenal. You lose George Springer at center, and I know Chas McCormick isn't the game changer, but he's still a great player. Shortstop, right. You lose Correa, you replace him with Jeremy Pena. You lose Garrett Cole, you just Framber Valdez and Luis Garcia out of nowhere. Josh, this incredible. It really, analytics really are taking it. This shows why analytics are taking over baseball.
Well, they're a well-run organization.
Yeah, definitely.
Bottom line.
Just lost their general manager too.
Yeah, I mean, you got they remind me of like the Patriots of football. They just interchange parts and they just keep winning. And Houston, after losing Cole and like you said, all the guys you mentioned, Springer, I'm like, all right, this is they're going to take a step backwards. They're going to take a step backwards, and they take a step forward every year. I don't know how they do it.
I'm as shocked as you watching it. Like I said, there's always that one organization in each sport that always finds a way to win no matter who they have. And, you see with Houston in baseball, you see with the Patriots with football. Hockey, if you watch hockey, Frank, you see, Nico, I know they're not doing good to start this season, but the Penguins back like this whole the last 2 decades just interchange pieces. They go on these playoff runs. It really speaks to the internal pieces of the organization, what they build, and how good they can do it.
Right. I mean, they go far too. I mean, that's what aggravates me about being a Yankee fan is that they win the division or they're in the playoffs every year for 20-some years, whatever it is. But I mean, I've known, and I'm a diehard about it for years. I've been saying, I talk to my wife, I talk to my friends, and they're like, "Oh, the Yankees." I go, you know what? They just don't have enough to win the World Series. This year, before the season started, I said to my wife, Houston's going to beat the Yankees. The Yankees got to get through Houston. If they can't get through Houston, which they couldn't during the regular season, and after they lost those 5 or 6 games during the regular season, I said, I said they're done. They're not going to get through Houston. It's not.
That's a tough task to put up. But Frankie, while I got you on the line before I let you go, I gotta ask you this question because it's going to transition to our next topic. You're the Yankee fan. So there's a lot of talk. George Steinbrenner is saying he would consider making Aaron Judge the next captain of the Yankees. Obviously, the real question right now, are the Yankees going to be able to retain Judge? But that's not my question, is whether or not going to be. Say Judge were to leave, and then I'm going to let you go after you answer. If the Yankees were to name a captain this 2023 season, Judge were to leave, who are you giving the captaincy to? Why?
That depends if Rizzo comes back, because he would be like my second choice.
It's actually ironic you say that, because Houston apparently is targeting Rizzo for first with Gurriel hitting free agency.
Yeah. I mean, that would be, outside of Judge and Rizzo, I don't see a captain there. I don't see it. They don't have to have a captain, of course, after all these, but it's got to be somebody homegrown who has an impact. I mean, honestly, Brett Gardner would have been my guy had they retained him last year.
Yeah.
He's a guy that they just followed. I mean, he didn't play every day. He lost his step. He lost, everything. But they idolized that guy. And when they went out and got Matt Carpenter, as well as Carpenter did, it kind of broke my heart a little bit because I thought if you needed that extra guy, Gardner was the guy. I think they owed it to him, and he would be a great captain, obviously at the end of his career. But to answer your question, if they don't return Rizzo, I see nobody there that can fulfill that role. No, zero captain.
Got it. Thank you for the call, Frankie. We appreciate it.
You got it, guys. Take it easy.
You have a good one. Gotta love Frankie from Flushing, everyone. So I want to put that question out to the room quickly before we move on to the Mets and some of the rumors that have been happening there. Who gets the captaincy on this Yankee squad? Do you have anyone? Maybe Garrett Cole, but like you said, if it's homegrown, you don't have anyone. You maybe give it to Cole because the AC rotation, maybe, but that's the only reason I can think of. There's not really a legit reason why you give this captaincy to anyone.
We consider Garrett Cole a leader like that?
Now that you mentioned it,
of the New York Yankees.
Yeah, let's not go. Why do we go that far?
Because they're fraudulent captains and leadership people. They suck.
Imagine Garrett Cole trying to give like a pep talk in the locker room.
Hey guys, we just we got win. I know I kind of suck right now, but you guys just hit the ball a little bit.
That's exactly how it would sound. I think you nailed it. Like nobody's rallying behind that guy for real.
Oh my god,
his name's Garrett.
There you go.
Dude's got a last name for a first name. First name for a last name.
Before Nico insults someone else, I just want to remind anyone you're listening to WHPC Sports Talk on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. Braden Danielo, Eric Williams, Nico Each, Josh Umahi. Phone number is 516-572-7440. Let's go to the Mets, who really have not... The thing that's not really annoying me with the Mets, the Jacob deGrom sweepstakes are really down to 3 teams, I think. And we haven't received much information other than the teams he's rumored to be involved with, the Mets, Rangers, and Braves obviously being the top 3. But I got to say it because I've been talking about it the last couple weeks. Just as the days go by, Josh, Nico, give me your opinion. You're my Mets fans in the room. As the days pass by, just the reality that this guy is not going to be back in blue and orange next season, it's beginning to set in. Is that like the vibes that you're feeling also?
Oh, he was off the team once they lost, in my eyes. He was out.
See, I don't think it's as much as a foregone conclusion as you think. Now, if you had to make me bet on it now, I think he's gone. But I think it's like 55-45.
I feel like if he was going to be a Met next season, it would have happened already. Well, if he has this strong feelings about New York and wanted to be a Met, Steve Cohen really wanted him.
Maybe it's just the Mets aren't offering him anything. And listen,
I don't think that's it.
Well, but is it because he keeps saying, I want to be a Met? And this is another John Tavares scenario. I mean, I want to be here. So
I think he's just a drama queen.
He is a drama queen.
He wants to be wined and dined and be told how great he is all winter. And then he'll sign. But I think he just wants the attention, if you ask me. And that's fine, but...
Yeah.
So it's going to be the Rangers or the Mets. Braves are out. So.
Don't say that, because if the
Braves are out, we all saw the report on Twitter.
God forbid the Braves get him. I think I'd come in here and go on the biggest tear in WHPC Sports Talk.
To Atlanta.
Nah, don't.
It'd be so much fun next season.
Why?
Because he'll never start a game against us because he's a little bitch.
Well, he's not. No. I respect deGrom because I feel like he would do it. I don't have any respect for Syndergaard because... he's so busy. He's too busy doing his hair to worry about starting against the Mets. He should just shave his head bald, probably.
He looked crazy.
Imagine that. I can't see that. That's like top 10 cursed images of all time, probably. The Mets have a lot of questions surrounding their starting rotation, obviously, with all these rumors going around. Justin Verlander's been there, just won his second World Series with the Astros. Carlos Rodon, who a lot of people, not getting a lot of talk, but I would love him in a Mets uniform. Had a 14-win season with the San Francisco Giants. So, Josh, Nico, I'm going to go back to you guys. You're my fellow Mets fans in the room. Say deGrom leaves, which looks likely right now. Which of these two do you want the Mets to sign? Why do you want it happening?
I would go Verlander.
Oh, so you're going with the age of veterism. I like it.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the veteran. I'm also going to re-sign Chris Bassett.
You have to bring him back.
Yeah.
Anchor your rotation.
He's definitely going to be valuable if DeGrom leaves. Yeah, give me Verlander. Give him like a 1-2 year deal. I know he gave Scherzer 3 years. Give Verlander like 1 year, I don't know the exact annual per, but it's going to be pretty up there. But it's fine. It's a short-term deal. You're not going to get Justin Verlander a 5-year deal.
No, definitely not.
And this is a win-now team. Like, you're not really worrying. That would be the case over not signing DeGrom. Because, yeah, you'd like to have Jacob DeGrom for the next 2 years and try to win a World Series that way, but it's get Verlander 2 years, send a message to your team like, we have this guy in here to do one thing, win the World Series.
Yeah.
That's it. You don't have to worry about Jacob DeGrom making $60 million per year in 2024.
Yeah, no, definitely. So imagine $60 million, geez. Nico, who of these two do you want? Why?
Give me both.
Ooh.
Yeah, why not both?
Listen, if DeGrom wants, 50, 55 million?
And around that range is what it seems
Give Verlander 30, give Carlos 20, and you're set.
Now, how many years would you go? Well, I would assume
Carlos, I would give way more years than Verlander,
definitely.
Without doubt.
The thing about it, I'm torn with this because you have an ace like Verlander who's been phenomenal his whole career, and the only thing that scares me about Verlander is the age, but at the same time, he's proven that. I don't want to say he gets better with age, but he didn't pitch last season. There were questions if he was ever going to pitch at all last season. He comes into this season, and it's like last season was like smoking. It's like nothing happened. He pitches Cy Young contender. He's a Cy Young contender. He probably will win the Cy Young at 39 years old. Like, so my whole age thing, it's like it's there. I'm more like that. That's like the paranoid of me, like Jacob DeGrom speaking, like almost kind of like that. Because I see the guy, he's old, he's been through injuries. I'm hesitant to give him so much money. But if you're going to talk like $30 million for Verlander, I'm signing that. The reason I would go Rodon for 2 reasons. One is, well, actually 3 maybe. One is the age. You got a 29-year-old starter who's proven himself with the White Sox. He proved himself on a struggling San Francisco team last offseason that didn't do good. He put up 14 wins, and I got his stats here. I think I do. Yeah, 14-8 record, 2.88 ERA, 237 strikeouts. Yeah, he looks phenomenal. He's definitely, and the other reason is he's a lefty. When was the last time the Mets really, and don't tell me Steven Matz, an effective starter that was a lefty? Well, maybe Matz you could exclude for 2015. But last time the Mets had like a legit left-hander to start. Yeah, exactly. And whether you can grow Peterson or not, I mean, here's the, and I'm going to sidetrack to Peterson for just a sec, because Peterson right now, and the last couple of years as well, Nico, correct me, he's giving me Kratzo vibes, bro. I'm like, and like Kako before this season.
I'm sorry, who?
Listen for a second before you tear on me. Kako before this season. He's giving me the vibes. I'm tired of waiting for this guy to get off the ground.
Wait, who? Sorry,
Right now, David Peterson, the last couple seasons, he's giving me vibes that he's taking too long to get off the ground, that it's annoying because we keep saying he's got to get his control together. He's got to get his control. But when is he going to do it? So if you get Rodon, who you know is going to be a left-handed reliable star, maybe then you move Peterson. Who knows? But listen, Nico, I love for them to get both. And the thing about it is Steve Cohen. Steve Cohen has voiced so much money. Steve Cohen has voiced so much that he is willing to spend and spend and spend. You're not like out of the blue. Like with someone like DeGrom, it's an outlier because he's going to ask for so much money. He has not been healthy. He struggled down the stretch in September this past season. But 2 guys like Rodon and Verlander who've proven themselves time and time again, and Verlander, aside from last season, who's proved he could stay healthy for most of his career, why wouldn't you try and go out and get both of them? Why wouldn't you? Because then you anchor your rotation. You can imagine a rotation of Verlander. I mean, Bassett then. Rodon. Who else? I mean, David Peterson. Tyler McGill's going to be back in there. I want this team to bring back Trevor Williams, probably for the bullpen. I don't know if that'll happen. I know why they have not extended an offer on it, but that's just me. Let's finish out, because I want to finish out. I know we're like 2 weeks into the offseason. Way too early World Series prediction for 2023. Everyone shoot at me. Erik, where would you start? Where do you expect the Dodgers to finish, if anything? I know it's early.
They'll probably win 100 games again, but at what cost? I mean,
yeah, well, that's the thing. At what cost? What? And another NLDS exit. You think NLCS maybe?
You could nah.
No, they're gonna win 100 games and not even make the playoffs.
Bro.
Somehow, right? Somehow.
The Arizona Diamondbacks and the Colorado Rockies will find a way to finish higher in the standings, knowing the Dodgers' luck. Josh, Nico, so we're talking about all these moves for the Mets. Josh, what?
I got a World Series prediction for you.
Okay.
Marlins, Astros, baby.
That's mine too. It's crazy how that works.
Jorge Soler's gonna be MVP.
So committed to the hot takes this guy is.
Listen,
no, we've been saying that, though.
It makes sense.
I know.
It's not going to be the Mets.
I'm not completely surprised.
It's not going to be the Mets. It's never going to be the Mets.
Will it be the Mets in 2024?
No.
It
won't be the Mets in our lifetime.
Really quick.
God hates us.
Really quick. If the Marlins make it to the World Series, I want to say this right now. Let's go to Miami.
We're going.
Yeah,
we're so going.
Let's go to Miami.
I run to Mercedes down there.
Yeah, maybe they have a few Aarons down there also.
Oh, if there's an Aaron, I might get locked up.
Oh, my God.
Oh, real quick before we move on from baseball. So, I got big breaking news to report.
Yes.
Oh, boy.
I just saw it on Twitter. So, coming back to the New York Yankees on a multi-year deal. He's back. They wrote on the graphic, he's back in big letters. Anthony Rizzo, welcome back to the New York Yankees.
Oh,
he's back. Yeah, he's...
just as I tell Frankie that Rizzo might be...
Made a whole graphic for it.
That actually wasn't the news I had. I had Tyler Anderson is on the Angels now.
Oh, he went to... Oh. Well, they're targeting starting pitching.
This is a better Los Angeles team.
No, let's see.
No.
They'll go from...
Ohtani is leaving.
He's going to be a Met. And they still won't win any.
No, I think he'll go to the Yankees before the Mets. I'm just being honest.
No.
I'm just being honest.
No,
why?
I think he wants to have fun. He's going to be fun.
Ohtani to the Dodgers for a couple bags of peanuts probably at this point. Gotta love him. Gotta love baseball and all the hot stove heating up. Well, what's the before we move on to football? What's the contract for Rizzo, by the way?
Oh, damn! You asking me to do
this many years?
I don't know if it's out.
Work. 2 years. It hasn't been reported yet.
Yeah. So at least
at least $1.
That might be your captain right there. Then we were just talking about it. Maybe. Gotta love WHPC Sports Talk.
Gotta love it.
Speaking of which, you are listening to WHPC Sports Talk on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. Braden Danielo with Eric Williams, Nico Each, Josh Umahi. Phone number 516-572-7440. Let's finish it off with the NFL. Last night's game, it was so weird because the Eagles don't look like the first team that they were through their first 8 games. The Commanders behind Taylor Heineke looked actually pretty damn good. He didn't do phenomenal, but he if I had to take him over Carson Wentz right now, I would definitely do that.
Oh, absolutely.
He's the future.
So the Commanders, despite allowing 21 points, it was the story of the game. They recovered 3 fumbles. One of the 3 fumbles was the last-second fumble that was recovered for a touchdown on the lateral play, and 1 interception off Jalen Hurts. So Taylor Heineke, like I said, he wasn't great. He passed for 211 yards. And the real thing about Heineke, he draws a crucial penalty with just under 2 minutes left on Brandon Graham, who I think he was trying to avoid the contact. He didn't.
He was pulling up.
He was pulling up. He was sliding into Heineke.
Yeah.
And then he hits him, and Heineke's like...
He sold that so hard.
He did. Well, it looked like he had been shot. It looked like he'd been shot like freaking Connor Ingram against Zibanejad on Sunday. But we won't get into that. So, Eric, I know the loss helps your Cowboys. I need to ask you the question, though, that everyone wants to know the answer to. I don't know if there is one. Well, actually, I think now that I think now where everyone is mostly in unison. But so who do the Commanders start? Taylor Heineke, Carson Wentz.
It's pretty obvious.
Yeah,
like you see the energy he brings to this team. I mean,
yeah,
they're on a 25-minute plane ride home. And Taylor Heineke has chains on, and
Busch Light beer in a trash can, which really shows you what type of franchise that you're playing for.
Who takes an airplane from Philly to Washington?
Hey man, you travel in style, baby.
And then no, because
the Busch Light beer and trash cans.
It looked like there was on a regular Delta airplane. Look, if you look at the airplane, it looked like a regular Delta airplane. You're on a 25-minute flight. Come on.
Did we ever find out what news that mayor in D.C. was breaking?
Wait, what let me look into that now. Yeah, I don't know if we ever got an answer.
The Attorney General of Washington, D.C. was supposed to break news last week.
He was suing the NFL and the Commanders or something like that.
He was suing them? For what?
Yeah, for what?
Hurting his feelings?
You gotta like really read into it. Like I didn't care that much. But like, okay.
Loser franchise.
I didn't like read up on this. So like, what's the whole story behind that before we get into some of the details of this game or what we think about our teams going into Week 11? What happened?
I have no clue.
I have it here.
Oh,
so
boy.
Tell us, Josh.
Yeah, the DC Attorney General filed a civil lawsuit against Dan Snyder, the Commanders, the NFL, and Roger Goodell. So there you go.
Like
civil
what?
lawsuit.
Does it say for what?
No.
Like
I can't find it anywhere. It's existing.
I hear Dan Snyder in there, and I think, okay, anything's possible.
Think
but
feet.
Why? What?
Maybe he's best friends with Dan Schneider. Maybe
Dan Schneider.
You know what? They're two sides of the same coin if you think about it.
Feet lovers.
Oh my God.
Football? There's a connection.
The Commanders' defense, Derek Forrest had an interception and a fumble recovery. Jamin Davis had one as well. Case 2, the last-second fumble recovery was recovered for a touchdown.
How about them commies?
How about them comps?
5-5.
Shout out.
Yeah, it's so funny. I was talking with one of the kids that I have a class with today. It's so funny how the NFC East, like, literally, 2 seasons ago, was, you just have to be the best out of mediocrity. And now it's like actually close, but because the teams are either good or decent. It's like, it's weird.
Yeah.
All the teams are good except for the Giants.
The Commanders made the playoffs being like 6-10 2 years ago.
Yeah. That was the season.
This is more evidence that Giselle is a witch, right? So
where's this going?
She put all the NFC East like midness into the NFC South because she divorced Tom Brady and she's dating some jiu-jitsu trainer.
Jiu-jitsu trainer.
That's her master plan. You know
I didn't know Antonio Brown was doing jiu-jitsu.
No,
Giselle was in that pool with him that one time.
Wait, she was? Is it? What are your sources, sir?
Oh God.
She might have been. She might have not been in that pool, but she might have been in a pool with AB.
Just waiting for AB.
Listen.
Pool of children.
Wait.
No.
What?
No. Wait, no.
I apologize for Nico's comments. No, I apologize.
Josh?
Yeah?
Josh?
That's what you're going for?
Josh,
okay.
What's going on at WHPC? Nico? Explain your actions, sir.
Systemic. Never mind.
Jets making the AFC Championship.
Deion Sanders is no longer
Assault, harassment,
Sauce Gardner now.
Just everything. Everything.
Every bad thing you could think of is truly
happening. Every human resources violation you could think of.
Oh, it's happening.
Yeah. Probably right now as we speak.
Oh, my God.
Never mind.
If Nico, whatever Nico would get arrested for in the future, I would honestly believe it no matter how crazy it is. Respectfully.
I'll bail you out, bro.
I put my money on the laundromat.
Yes, sir. Mr. Each's bail is set at $200,000. I wonder why. So we talked about the defense, but the offense with his team. Antonio Gibson, Brian Robinson Jr. with a touchdown each, so that was good to see. I don't know, just the vibes from the Commanders this week. It felt different behind Heineke. And it's like you said, Josh, earlier, like a couple months ago with Nimmo. I love when players care. Taylor Heineke's energy, and give me your opinion, it is phenomenal. Like, what were you thinking as you're watching this game with him, like, pumping his fist every 5 seconds?
He is the team. Listen, we talk about it. We just talked about it with Garrett Cole and Julius Randle, who are not leaders. They're very much the opposite of a leader. But Taylor Heineke, the team rallies behind him. We saw it last year. We saw it 2 years ago when they, like Erik said, they went 6-10 and won the division somehow. We saw it. The team just rallies behind him. And that's what you need at the quarterback position. And I think he's similar enough. I think Carson Wentz is a better quarterback, but when you take into account, Carson Wentz is a vegetable, all right? Nobody rallies behind Carson Wentz. Taylor Heineke, though, and they're similar enough in skill set that you obviously roll with Heineke.
I think Heineke is more athletic. That's what I do think. But
he's
Carson
showing
Wentz,
it more. He's definitely.
Yeah, Carson Wentz, he has the stats and everything, 10 touchdowns, 6 interceptions, 1,500 yards. But Taylor Heineke, he doesn't have the stats, but he definitely puts his team into a different mode. You can see it. Yeah,
and like we said, the NFC East now, it tightens up. You have Philly at 8-1, they're in first. Giants behind. Every team is one win worse from first to four. You got the Giants 7-2, Cowboys 6-3, Commanders 5-5. So let's ask the question: who's Who's coming out of this division on top?
The Eagles.
Eagles.
Well, I mean, genuinely, I think they only lost that game last night because the receivers were ass.
Yeah, they sold out.
They kept dropping, couldn't catch balls. Jalen Hurts' one interception, that should have been a caught ball. That was a perfectly thrown ball.
That was a perfect. He should have had that. But you just called the Eagles frauds 30 minutes ago. So
yeah,
well, both things can be.
Yeah, both things are definitely true.
So
I think the division's kind of fraudulent as well, except for Commanders and Cowboys.
So you think the bottom two teams? Well, yeah,
you can make.
Listen, the Cowboys are going to finish with a better record than the Giants.
The Eagles are playing more than what their roster would suggest the potential is. The Giants, no one expected them to be here. And when I talk with Antonio every Thursday, it's about how the Giants aren't going to get a good draft pick.
The Eagles have
forget
a good
the draft
roster.
Pick. Yeah, they do.
A lot of teams in the league right now that are at the top are very fraudulent. They all have very big weaknesses, and they just can't be consistent teams. Like the Bills, I would definitely say the Jets are a better team right now than the Buffalo Bills. I think that's obvious.
Let's calm down with the Buffalo. I get maybe Minnesota out of the stretch now. I don't know, Philadelphia.
Listen,
maybe.
They lost to Minnesota. They lost bad. Like they had some bad plays against Minnesota. Because Minnesota's just a good
football team, like you guys were talking about yesterday.
Josh Allen made mistakes for them to lose that game.
He did.
He's been making a lot of mistakes. It's why they've lost the last 2 weeks in particular. Him in the red zone all of a sudden.
He's not winning MVP now?
No, definitely not.
It's
him in the red zone. How many interceptions has he thrown in the last 3-4 weeks alone? Especially in the red zone. Forget about that.
Too many to be considered the top team.
Counted up right now. No, definitely not.
I think it's over the last 2 weeks. It's like 3 or 4.
Yeah, well, that's a lot.
You shouldn't be throwing that many.
He can kill you on the ground, but all of a sudden he can't kill you in there. That's a serious problem. But one thing I do, because I don't want to talk about fraudulent teams, which we bash every team in the league, and rightfully we should. This season's been, I don't know. It's like how does Josh say it?
It's fake.
It's fake. Yeah, it's fake.
It's
like
it's an idea.
It's like it's a mirage to Roger Goodell to make us all think that
every sports
teams like
league
Tampa
are
still going to be legit.
Let me tell you how fake the NFL is this year. If the NFL is so fake that the Vikings are going to the Super Bowl. Think about that.
They're not wrong.
No, they are.
Yeah.
They are. Because even the Eagles, you would think that they could stop the run. They should be able to stop the run better than they do, but they gave up 120 plus more yards on the ground yesterday. And listen, the Eagles did beat the Vikings on that Monday night game earlier in the year, but that was just a different Vikings team. And yes, Braden, I know I called them fake all year long. I was like, this team is fake. Week 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all the way week 10, I was saying they're fake. But now, if you look around the NFC,
who's the standout?
There's no standout.
If
the Cowboys would have won this past weekend, probably
it would probably be them. But they showed their ass, Erik. They showed you. They reminded us who they really are come January.
There's 207 reasons I can give you why. I mean,
200. That's a lot.
207 rushing yards.
That's insane. That just seems like an absurd amount of yards.
They cannot stop the run. They can't.
God.
The Cowboys you're talking about.
Yes, it's sick. Like it makes me sick to my stomach.
Cowboys.
Before we finish up with what we think about our teams going into Week 11, which
do we have to?
The majority of the room might not be good, but I want to finish it out if we got time at the end. One reason I love this win so much for the Commanders is just Ron Rivera postgame. Because I didn't even know what was happening. Apparently, he lost his mom recently, and he almost broke down in the locker room. And Terry McLaurin stepped up saying, look how much it meant to him. It shows not only how much it meant to just a franchise, but just one individual, just their head coach, how much it meant to him. So I'm curious, like, Erik, I'm assuming you saw the interview last night. What'd you think of it?
This is why we play. This is why we watch football. Football is the biggest sport in America.
It's king. Josh talks about it all the time. NFL is king. Everything else is mere peasants compared to the NFL. But like I said, listen, I didn't know what Rivera was dealing with behind the scenes. I didn't even know what was going on. I just thought he was elated because they just beat an undefeated team. When I actually found out what had happened, I was like, oh, like dang, like that's rough. But listen, it showed a terrible situation, Nico. Let's not act like you don't say like.
What? No. What?
You offend everyone because you over there throwing shade. They throw shit.
What did I do?
What did you say screw me for? All right, we got a few minutes left. So I just want to finish up with our teams going into Week 11, and I guess me and Erik are one spectrum of this. So let's get I guess the bet. Nico, I know your Packers just won against Eric's Cowboys, but they're trying to now defeat a red hot Titans team. It's won, I believe, 6 of the last 7. If they win this, what's your perspective on playoffs?
They'll make the playoffs.
Packers. Oh, Aaron Rodgers.
He wants to root on the downfall just to see.
I just want Bryce Young to be the quarterback next year.
Run the table.
Yeah, we're not dead.
We're not dead.
Aaron Rodgers said it. That's going to be the quote, which means we'll lose in the NFC Championship to the Vikings, and it's going to be beautiful.
The chant in the locker room. We're not dead.
What seed?
7.
They're going to sneak in, and then who are they going to beat en route to the NFC Championship?
Amazing teams.
Philly. They'll play Philly in
the wild card.
No, they can't play Philly. No,
they could play the Giants.
They're going to play Philly in the wild card.
They'll play Philly in the wild card. You play them in 2 weeks. Get it done.
Yo, if the Packers might be inevitable. I'm thinking about it now. They might just be.
Please, I've been sold dreams, Joshua.
Christian Watson is God.
You want to know
receivers making plays.
You want to know what's going to happen? Probably just so everyone could say the NFL is rigged again, which it probably is. No, it's going to be great. It's going to be. He's going to die. He's going to be wheeled back out as zombified corpse to lead the Packers to another Super Bowl. No, it's going to be Green Bay versus Tampa Bay in the NFC Championship game, and we'll all hate our lives again because all these narratives that we said about how the old pages being turned, and Brady and Rodgers, the careers are done, they're gonna get revived again, and then we'll all anger Brady. He'll come back and he'll try and win his 8th ring. Josh, your Saints. I shouldn't ask you this. I just gotta ask it in the minute or so we have left. What are you feeling going into Week 11?
They're not beating the Rams, but let me just say this: I saw Pro Football Focus, everyone's favorite football analysis.
Get the app.
They have the top graded Saints so far this season. Number 1 is Andy Dalton. Now, this just goes to show you that Virgin statistics aren't what you need to be following watching football games. That's just me. Ban PFF, please. Just don't listen to it. It's irrelevant. Yeah. Andy Dalton, the highest rated Saint. Okay.
Eric, your Cowboys are going to bounce back after the loss to Green Bay. They got the Vikings, who we've gone back and forth with in the past couple weeks. Who do you think? What do you think the result's going to be this weekend?
This is definitely a tough game for them. Coming off a bad loss, but I think the team will come together again like they did when they lost to the Buccaneers. I think they'll come together again, and I'm not saying they'll win this game, but it's a possibility they may win this game. I mean, if the defense can do their job, we can get the job done.
Yeah. A few seconds for the Jets. If the Jets don't beat the Patriots, life is meaningless. So we'd like to thank you for listening to WHPC Sports Talk on the voice of Nassau Community College, 90.3 WHPC. From Josh Mahi, Nico Each, Eric Williams, I'm your host, Braden Danielo. We'll see you guys tomorrow at 4. Thank you for listening.
This show on 90.3 W.